Welcome back to the YTG podcast.
Welcome.
You are new here, my name is Nico. I'm an automotive photographer and now amateur racing driver.
I'm Sean, and I am the owner of this lovely shed in Keysborough, YTG Young Timers Garage.
Here
Welcome.
on the weekly-ish YTG podcast, we're going to give you the sort of inside scoop inside the automotive industry in Australia, as well as some fantastic stories, motorsport, anything car related. So, and a bit of electric car hate. Join us on another episode, and we hope you enjoy. Welcome back to the podcast. This is officially
Welcome back, yes.
our unofficial Christmas episode.
Yes, this is our last one for
Christmas Eve. This will go out,
and it's been an amazing year, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. So next episode, we're going to sort of dive back and sort of recap on the year and all the crazy stuff that's happened. But in this episode,
special guest
again after Rob. Now we've got Adam from MPW, which is a performance tuning shop on steroids. So we're going to get into.
I've told you in the past when we talked, there's this mad joint down the road, and you just fucking sound just the music symphony of a couple of 1,000 horsepower cars on the dyno, and we hear it and we just like smile. And it's like a fucking grouse rock band. So this is the master here, the master musician of MPW. Welcome, brother.
How are you, boys?
Fantastic.
So, tell us all about MPW.
Yeah, well, look, we started 12 years ago now. We started off as just a basic tuning shop, and I was working somewhere else and I just had the drive to do a little bit more, and I was running a dyno and all that kind of gear. So we ended up going out and it just went from there. We were playing with turbos and all that kind of stuff on your Aussie V8s before anyone else was. When I say anyone else, like there was very few people doing it.
Yep.
So all your late model EFI, factory ECU type deals, LS1 based, that kind of gear.
Yep.
And so we started off doing that, and it just kept growing and growing, and the drive to do more kept growing. And
was it MPW back then?
It was MPW back then,
Yep.
yeah. So that was the original name. It still is the original thing.
So you started it from... So you're the founder, you started MPW? Or
I did.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So like Melbourne Performance
Warehouse.
Yeah.
So we went with the Melbourne Performance Warehouse theme because when I started out, you had to be a warehouse to deal with a lot of the suppliers that I deal with. And we were selling a lot of parts back then as well that other people couldn't get. So we were the middleman to get performance parts and stuff like that, which has helped us grow into what we are today.
Fuck yeah. Nice. Okay.
So instead of buying a lot of parts these days, we make them.
So you guys are doing everything virtually, don't you now?
Yeah, so we do all of our own chassis stuff. We do all of our own powder coating in-house now, all of our own fabrication, CNC cutting, 3D scanning, CAD drawing, tuning, electrical.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, the list goes on.
It's crazy.
So you're almost like the modern version of, come on, brain.
Who?
Early guest, female. Come on.
Huh?
Female, early guest on the podcast.
Oh, Dom.
Like Dom's dad.
Dom's dad, but
you're
that's
like
in classic.
Classic, but it's the full thing, right? It's restoration from scratch. You're doing that, but with modern cars.
They do body and paint. Which you guys don't do.
No, so we do some tin work, like as in stretching guards, all that kind of gear.
Yep.
We've got a couple of cars there that come into us with no floor pans, no roof, different rear ends going onto them. We've done all of that. We do that. We've got a couple of panel beaters that work for us in-house, just doing those kind of things.
Okay.
But when I say we don't do paint and panel, we don't do the finishing. We don't do any fill work. We don't do any sanding. We don't do any priming. So we've got a good guy down in Rosebud, Cameron at Rosebud Panels, which does all of our paint work for us.
So your car and all that sort of stuff?
So my car was done by him, and he's knocking it out of the park.
If you remember, I spoke about this fucking hectic fucking Capri, this gentleman's car, which was on...
Sean's been on at me for
months
now to bring it down and stick it in here. So
Street Machine magazine, isn't it?
It was on the cover,
on the cover. It was
wow.
fucking hectic, mate. We can have it sitting here. And for all those who came in, I remember I used to keep asking me about that XAGT. Is it for sale? Is it for sale?
Oh, the purple one.
Yeah, the purple.
Yeah.
It's not for sale. I told you it's not for sale. And this is the man that has built that thing into an animal. And they're going even more hectic now.
Yeah, so that's Paul. Paul's a really good customer of
He's
ours.
a gentleman. Absolute champion.
He's got numerous XA XBs.
Yeah.
Absolutely loves them. So he's got the green one that was here as well. Is his car.
That was that fucking insane, the sedan and storage.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so that's another 2,500 horsepower, big block Ford deal, 600 cubes, twin 88s on it.
Brother, but you know what's even more gangster is when these guys are going to kick everyone's ass at drag weeks and shit, they drive them, man. That's where I remember they fucking drove it with the...
How do you street drive?
Come on, man. That's insane.
Turbos. It's the brilliance of turbos. We don't need highly strung valve trains or anything in them. So to make, let's call it 1,000 horsepower NA, you got massive spring rates on your valve springs and everything. Just wears everything out. We don't have that. We're a okay naturally aspirated engine, and we just pour boost on top of it.
That's it.
It's pretty simple.
As I said, that's what it sort of like. So that car, like for example, that car when it was sitting here, everyone remembered the big fucking blower and all that stuff.
And that makes nothing.
Yeah,
no
it just
horsepower.
looks fucking amazing,
It just sounds cool and drops panties. That's what that does.
Wow.
It doesn't do anything on the street. So that car now, that had the 671 blower on it, small block Ford deal, and that's actually now been taken out, and that's going with a Powerhouse Engines built small block Ford, aftermarket block, aftermarket cylinder heads, all that kind of gear with a pair of G35s on it, so twin turbo. And he's done that because everything's tightening up where he lives, and he wants it to be legit under the bonnet, looks factory, nice and quiet, but yet when you're on it, you're on it. And that thing will make 1,500 horsepower pretty easily. And
how long would an engine that much power last?
So my last one, I've just put a new engine into my VK. I've got a VK Brocky or replica. That's ran 750 at 190 mile an hour, and we stopped counting at
I saw your fucking face.
and we stopped counting at 300 passes in that before we pulled a rod out the bottom of the piston. So. Look,
serious, man.
It all comes down to who builds them and tunes them, and you're pretty good. We've got cars that, as I say, they've been together for years and years, and they're out running mid-sevens, and we haven't had a single drama with them. Everything has their limits, but
is that also a bit of, I guess, like any of this? I mean, granted that these are a different thing compared to the beast that you build, but still. With a bit of love and preservation and care, it's like these things.
Maintenance is key.
That's what I was about to say. I mean, it's like you build these animals, but you warm them up, all that sort of stuff. I guess all that sort of stuff.
100%. So anything forged, you really want to look after. So you get it up to operating temp first. I've always got a thing. My methanol cars, I won't put down the track under 50 degrees, and at least I've got cylinder head temp in them. I've got some oil temp in them at that point, and then we'll put them down. But we always warm everything up before it rolls out, and then goes. And then, as you say, a lot of our customers drive to the track and race and drive home.
Mate, they had a fucking trailer on the back of this XA. It was a trailer.
Yeah, so it was towing. So on Drag Challenge.
It was a fucking trailer on the back. I was like, oh, mate, let's salute these guys as they drive in power. This is crazy. They're driving to go and kick ass all over the state. Fucking trailer on the back.
So on Drag Challenge, you have to be unsupported. You drive your own car, you carry all your parts in the back, and you're unsupported. I can't ring you and go, hey, bring this, come down and help me.
I see.
So we've got to take all of our stuff.
It's
we've got a trailer set up with a rooftop tent on it. It's got water in it. It's got methanol under the floor of it. And literally we're self-supported. We can go and run mid-sevens at every track and mission on. With the Capri, obviously, go and run sixes at tracks and drive home. And that's why that car's engineered, registered, and that's why we set that car up the way we did.
Far out.
It's amazing.
So they're all effectively race cars?
It depends who you ask. Anything's a street car if you're game enough, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, it's...
Do they pass roadworthies?
Well, they're engineered, our stuff.
Yeah.
Far
so,
out.
They're done right.
It's a very fine line between engineering and race car, and... it's all of our braking systems, all of our chassis systems are twist tested. Everything in the early stages passes an engineering report. And then obviously when you turn race car, you turn race car. So,
but you as the owner,
you can always pull them back.
But you as the owner, there's a fine line there. And at the end of the day, you can't control your client, but you know in your heart that the product that's left your building is fucking 110%.
I don't want to call them a race car because I'll cop a lot of shit for calling them a race car.
No, it's a race car.
But they're a race car with number plates, let's be honest. If everyone turns around and goes, oh, how can you justify it? How's it a street car? It's got side pipes on it. It's fucking common sense, right? Pull them off. Put an exhaust on it. Like I'm sorry, mate, but you're taking your car. You're taking, let's call it, what have you got sitting down?
Oh, you got that M8.
You got a W427, right?
Yeah.
Someone takes that to the track and puts a pair of Nittos on the back of it and whatever. He goes and puts a 3-inch exhaust on it with an over-the-radiator intake. It's no longer engineered. It's no longer roadworthy technically. And that's at the same point as we are. So
true.
How picky do you want to get?
And
then people justify it by going, no, it's a late model car and it can still drive. But so can we. We can do thousands of Ks.
Yeah, true.
So
how many Ks will you do at drag week?
1,800.
Okay.
So race 5 days, 5 tracks, and about 1,800 odd Ks.
Yeah. And driving to the
driving to all the
tracks.
tracks.
I mean, Rick drove. They went to Adelaide, wasn't it? In the Benz wagon.
Yeah. Our last one was starting off at the Bend, and then it was Mildura, Heathcote, Portland, back to the Bend.
Amazing.
Wow.
So, cruising. Unbelievable.
That's nuts.
And you're running, 98 cruising?
So we tune them on 98, 91 even.
Isn't that unreal?
And then just cruise them on pump fuel. And then a lot of them switch to E85 at the track. The big ones switch over to methanol. And just run them on their race fuel, switch them back over and keep cruising.
Isn't that amazing? It's just unbelievable. I didn't realise. I had more of an appreciation now when I've seen it firsthand and seeing what you can do.
Well, you've seen a lot of our street cars coming and going from here. I drive my cars home. Like, I literally drive them from here. I live 75 Ks away. I drive them home, drive them back here.
That'd be what? 12 and a half minutes.
That's one long drag strip
without traffic and point-to-point cameras, maybe. But no, it's a cool thing. Like, my Capri, as you said, went cover of Street Machine.
Yeah, that's huge, mate. Congratulations.
That was
massive.
Unveiled at Motorex.
Yeah.
That was a pretty big deal,
that car. That one. I remember that. That was huge.
And everyone goes, it's not a street car. And then all of a sudden, I've woken up. Every Sunday morning, I take the dog for a walk. I've woken up and gone to jump in one of my other cars and went, it's a nice day. Threw the dog in the Capri, cruised down the street, and mate, the photos I seen come up instantly.
Yeah,
and then there's this one photo of this dog hanging out the driver's window when I jumped in to get a coffee, and that's why the car was still on the cover of Street Machine.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it lets everyone see, like, we still do drive them. My wife and I go out for dinner, whether it's a VK. We pulled the VK down here, remember, and put it in storage while we had the engine out of it.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was full of sand. Because we'd just been at the beach with it before we pulled the engine out.
God.
So my kids grab the dog, they jump in, there's towels everywhere.
Isn't that cool? I think that's cool.
And that's legit, 2,000 plus horsepower street car.
Yeah.
So, 2,000. So, and you're driving around in sort of the same-ish spec that you could just pull up to a drag strip and do an 8 or a 7. Exactly as it is.
So that car was cool, or is cool, because it was E85 at the start. So literally how we drove it on the street was how we
lock up.
Just turn the boost up, and that was it. We ran same tyres, same everything, to the point where we made a point of driving over to Calder, running 7s. We went 770 at 183 mile, stopped in the city, got dumplings on the way home, and then cruised back home.
Isn't that just grouse?
That is mad.
Isn't that just great? Honestly, I love it. I love it. It's just fucking awesome. And that's the thing, and that's the appreciation that we see. Like I said, when you guys are road testing, whatever, you hear it. You're not going fast. You just hear them. You know what I mean? And you're just like, oh, that's just fucking grouse. And all the other guys listen to it, especially with the dynos. The dynos are good when you hear them.
Wow. Well, you guys would be used to hearing a lot on the dyno, but you know when a big one's on there.
No. I was going to say this. I took video of it, and I was so loud. I thought, blew. Mate, you see in the video, the fury from the exhaust, the bucket with water went flying in the driveway, and then people were ringing me going, because I posted it, I've gone, we heard it during the week. We thought it was a fucking explosion. We've gone, and then we thought, someone's doing a burnout. It was so loud, and we thought it was in the front nature. We walked outside.
And you're expecting it to be right there.
Brother.
Wow.
They had it on the dyno. I've never heard anything loud. And then when people saw the video, I didn't know, and people saw my post, they're going, mate, that's that fucking drag car, like the burnout car. It's just a burnout car.
Right.
These guys have built this thing to burn out. It's like an old XP or something with like a wrap, like an old battle tank. What's it called? Tank or something?
It's called Warbird. So that
Warbird, mate. This thing is fucking hectic. They had it on the dyno. Brother, I've never heard anything this loud that far away. We thought it was out the front. Honestly, we couldn't believe it.
Look, I've done a lot of dyno work. I've done a lot of dyno comps over the country.
That thing is insane.
And that was
that's really well known, that car, man.
It is, yeah. So that car's been to America to do skids before.
Yeah.
That's one of probably the most well-known burnout cars in the country.
I did not know that because I'm just there, and you know me, I'm like, what the fuck is
just
this?
no exhaust.
But there's something, and big block, that's got a big PSI blower on it. So Frank at Dandy Engines had just built the motor for that, and it was spewing out oil as you stayed on it, and we found that the scav lines were sucking up on it. But the only way we could find out was to put it on the dyno for a minute and hold it nailed.
Right.
And I'm sitting here going, we've got a transmission here, my leg's getting hot.
Mate,
if this thing goes, I've got no legs left.
Mate,
I've done a lot of dyno calls, and that's one that I wanted to get out of. Hey, that was rowdy.
It was scary. Honestly, Nico, I've never seen... You see the video. There's a fucking bucket of water behind it, and the fucking, like, the fury of the energy, it goes, we're all like, shit. Oh, you hear me? I thought my ears were going to burst. He's in the fucking car.
Frankie's a pretty ballsy dude. Big Abe that works for me is a pretty ballsy dude.
Fucking champion,
and I get out of the car, and all of these guys are fucked off out the gate.
Brother, we were at the back.
They're not even in the car park anymore. And I'm going, and I'm the guy who's got to sit in this thing.
He was sitting in it. It was so loud. He's like, what? We all went the bucket. As soon as I saw that bucket fly, I went, this is going to blow up. It was insane. And he's sitting in the fucking car.
You got like earplugs and then earmuffs.
Mate. It was just unbelievable. I've never experienced, but just the energy. I've never experienced anything like that, mate.
Wow.
It's just, honestly,
how much power did it make?
Not a whole lot, those things.
It's
a big burnout car. Look,
that's it.
They're probably 1,400 horsepower, not a lot.
Why do you need that much? I know nothing about burnouts. You don't. Okay,
you don't.
It just fried tire. It was just, and the
but you can't get the noise.
So
you can't get everything else without that many cubes, that bigger blower.
It was so noisy. Honestly, I'll never forget that. Out of all their cars, we didn't know. It was only later in the week when I went there in the evening to say hello, and this thing's on there. I couldn't believe it. I go, is that what's been making the noise? They're going, yeah, man. And I was like, far
yeah, that was a mission. That was every night on the dyno trying to find this problem, trying to find out why it was sucking scav lines in. And
the boys had the dash out and they're underneath the dash. I'm going, fuck,
how much damage would you have done to that engine running it like that for that long to try and figure out?
No, not with good engine builders. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fine. So I know that engine's been pulled down since then and the thing was perfect. So
wow.
Because it's built to just...
Look, everybody thinks that... I hate this word, bulletproof, right? Everybody
it's a
thinks,
fucking pretty loose word, isn't it? It's bulletproof.
Got a bulletproof engine. And you go, whatever. Like, I spent 50 grand on an engine. It's bulletproof. And I've got a $90,000, $100,000 engine sitting there in my car, and you go, it's not bulletproof. You've got to do one thing wrong, or you just got to have a part failure, or you've got to get bad fuel, or you have an injector shit the bed, and mate, it's all over. It's all quicker than you can blink. It's all over,
and that's outside your control of.
Everything's outside of our control with that stuff. And you go, all you can do is employ the best team around you to have the thing. As I said, all of my big engines like that are built by either John Pillar at Powerhouse Engines or Frank at Dandy Engines.
Yep.
Mate, two of the best in the business.
Yeah.
You go, all of our tuning's done on either Haltech ECUs or FuelTech ECUs, two of the best management systems in the world.
Yep.
And mate, we've obviously done a lot of it. We prove everything. We show our customers their tune up and all that kind of stuff as they're going with their big cars. We let them be there when they're being tuned. We teach them how to look after it at the track. That's all you can do.
Are you finding you get a lot of guys at the moment, brother, just guys with some money that want to, like, they haven't been in that drag scene. They just, mate, I just want to build something crazy, and they'll come to you and go, look, here's a blank canvas. I want to start.
Look, we're pretty lucky. We've been doing that for years, where we get people come to us and go, you know better.
Yeah.
This is my brief.
Yep.
And this is my budget. Can we do it?
Yep.
Let's make it happen.
Yep.
And then you get halfway through a build and they go, hey, we're going to blow out a budget, and you've changed your mind 4 or 5 times. And they go, that's fine, like, I get it, but this is where I'm at now.
Yep.
And we've got a few of those guys who now go, it's too much car for me, can you drive it? And we go, yeah, no dramas at all.
Wow.
And that's a good thing, obviously, being a racer myself and being in that position where obviously people are confident enough with me steering a car that
they massive trust.
They turn around and we can help them with their investment.
Yeah.
Now, you can always turn it down and they can go slower. Good thing about turbos, pull some boost out of it, make it easier on them. But when they want to get a number out of the car and go fast and they don't have the confidence to do it,
sure,
it's a good thing we can.
So I know very little about drag racing. You just hinted at some people can't go as fast and blah, blah, everything else. Walk us through it.
Yeah.
Because all I do know is that sevens is fucking serious, and a street car that can do so, like, just there's things going on there that you need to explain.
Yeah, look,
mate, it's just
it's weird because 8s are the new 10s, right? Like back in the day, and you look back at the original Fast and Furious, and I want a 10-second car.
Yeah,
hey, you fucking serious? Like, like, mate, we run 8 seconds backing off at half track. Like, it's just how much things have evolved in the last decade, and so you go 7-second car. By the time...
Nitrous, is that a thing? Big thing?
Nitrous used to be a big thing.
Yeah.
Now it's mainly either turbos or blowers.
Oh,
so a lot of the... Let's call it all of the fast street cars are turbo-based.
Yeah.
So...
Are you doing more JDM at the moment? Not really. No, it's all homegrown muscle.
Yeah, we do a lot of... Let's call it V8 force induction.
Yep.
So, look, I've got a pro mod down there at the moment with a billet 2JZ in it. Big fuel tech car. Happy to show you that thing. And look, that's a cool thing. That's one that the boys are chasing to run 5s in.
5 seconds.
Yep. Out of a 6-cylinder.
Jeez.
I was just talking to the boys in Sydney today, and they
5 seconds.
Yeah, 5 seconds.
Top fuel drags do what?
3
and 4, isn't it?
Yeah. And I was just talking to the boys in Sydney today, and they're getting a car ready for Summer Nats, ready to go on the dyno.
Yeah. Well, you boys now we'll talk about that because these are the rock stars of Summer Nats.
Well, the guys in Sydney just made 2420 or something out of 190 cubes.
What?
Yeah. So
how big's the turbo on that?
Yeah, big.
Single or double? No, single.
No, single. It'll be a single turbo thing. I haven't seen the car, but it's the guys from Matux Racing, and look, they're really well known for their RB stuff. But as I say, you go billet engine, all that kind of gear now, 190 cubes, making well north of 2,000 horsepower.
Far out.
A decade ago, that wasn't a thing. And if it was, it didn't last long.
I was going to say,
yeah.
So obviously, you're I guess one of the masters of this side of the industry. You've been doing it a long time, and obviously everyone knows you for what you do. But have you found that over that period, the technology has changed so much since where it was, say, 10 years ago to now, or is it's just the same, but it's just evolved better?
Huge.
Or no?
Just the way we do things, technology, machining finishes.
Yeah.
Not only what we've evolved in and what we've learnt, but what the guys we work in with. As I keep going back to the Frank and Johnny Pillar things.
Yeah.
So Frank Machise, Johnny Pillar, two guys that, man, their work's getting better and better, and they're learning more and more. And without people like that in our corner, we wouldn't have engines that handle what we throw at them. Yeah. So you go turbochargers, like it used to only be a Garrett Ranfield, and then you had a Borg Warner, which was more of your budget turbo, never made the power, a bit heavier, a bit lazier, whatever, but they were on budget.
Yeah.
Now you've got things like pulsar turbos coming into it. Look, everything is machined or made in China these days, let's be honest. And these things have now come in. James, who owns Pulsar Turbos, mate, awesome guy to work in with, and we've never had one fail.
Really?
They make the same power. We've gone back to back with a lot of the big names. And so that's put me into running them on our cars. And
so it's not a question of the more you pay, the better you get?
Well, it used to be, yeah.
Yeah, but now really you're finding it's changed a bit?
It has.
Okay.
Depending on suppliers, let's be honest, everything's made in China. It's where it's made in China and to what budget.
Yeah.
Like, there's good Aussie-made stuff. There's shit too.
Thank you. Yeah,
so, so it's something that we've got to come to grips with. But, yeah, there's cheap China, let's put it that way.
Sure.
Yeah. Not everything Chinesium is good.
Yeah. So. No, true. And so your main source is building these cars for clients to run, specifically do quarters, or they just want something like that?
A lot of my customers want street cars.
I was going to say, so it's a combination?
Yep, then they want fast street cars.
Yep.
And that's where we're at.
Yep.
So a lot of them are come and ask for a 7-second base thing. Like you were saying, run us through a quarter mile pass and something like that. Look, the changeover, by the time we get there, let's say we're running it on pump fuel, you've got to drain all the fuel out of it.
Yeah.
We change the tune up in it.
That's a lot like laptop out.
It is, yeah. Yep. So a lot of these things we will run on pump fuel, and we use CO2 for boost control, because that's how we get through engineering, is only being able to run 2 pounder boost on the street unassisted.
Right.
So with a CO2 wastegate, you only have enough wastegate spring to keep the plunger shut, which normally gives you, let's call it 2 pounder boost. Then what we do is we have a CO2 compressed bottle in the back, and then we use a MAC valve to put pressure onto the top of that wastegate, and we don't actually chase the boost pressure, we chase a wastegate pressure.
Right.
So as it's sitting there, and we'll have a MAC valve working at, say, 33 hertz, and that'll be pulsing, putting air in, taking air out to get that perfect wastegate pressure.
So you're effectively manually opening the wastegate.
Yeah. Yep, right. So we're in full control of it, and then that allows us to do boost over race time. So we do timing retards, boost over race time, everything. So everyone goes, it's just going in a straight line.
Can you explain that? Because maybe a lot of people watching or will be watching going, what does that mean?
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
That's what I'm saying.
So everyone
this
thinks,
is very fucking technical.
Everyone thinks, it's just going in a straight line. You're drag racing. It's just, well, yeah, it kind of is, but there's a lot more to it than that. It all, especially with radial racing. So starting off with suspension is one of the most important things. So with an old slick car, you would have seen cars back in the day that squat. So the fronts are coming up, the rear's going down, tyres compressing, wrinkling, grabbing the track, they're off, and they're loose down the whole track because it's controlled wheel speed. Whereas on a radial car, you want a dead hook. Normally, once you break traction on a radial car, it's hard to regain it again. So on a radial car, if you have a look, you'll actually see them separate in the rear. So as they launch, the suspension goes down, the body comes up, and they go forwards. And that's all done by bar angles. So changing your instant center, which is technically where your bars meet. So if you keep going along to the intersect point, that is called our instant center. So we'll have an imaginary line. Let's keep it simple for everyone. From the bottom of our rear tire, it'll go through the whole car to basically the front of your camshaft, right? We call that an anti-squat line. If you're anything below that, let's call that 100%. If you're anything below that, you are going to raise the front and squat in the rear. If you're anything above that, you're going to separate in the rear and try and keep the nose down. So, and that's the difference.
It's how far back we've got balance, so it just grips and goes instead of...
Well, we're trying to separate radial cars. It's hard on shit tracks. On tracks like Sydney and everything, then, mate, we're tying front suspension, separating the rear as hard as we can by 330 and putting all the power we can in them.
Is that just so that you can not just grip with the back, but also retain
keep the front
steering?
down?
Yeah.
No, we don't care about steering. It's more of just not trying to end up on the roof. Everybody goes, it's only for steering. No, it's just once these things come up, they're up.
So hence mono bars on the back? Or
no, so that's with a slick. You can't do that, because with a slick you use wheelie bars, so you can actually hit it, and then as it hits it unsettles the tyre and gets that wheel speed. And once you've got that wheel speed, then you're off, you're going. Whereas with a radial car, if you unsettle it and try to get wheel speed, it's over. It's over. It'll just cook a tyre and that's it.
Okay, so beg my not having knowledge, but what's the difference between a slick and a radial?
So one's a bias ply, one's a cross ply. So one is an old school. One's an old school tyre which it barely has a sidewall. Like, it's got cotton sidewall in it.
Right.
The other one is a radial, so it's got a steel radial belt in it. So it's a stiffer wall, different compound tyre.
More of a road.
Yeah, more of a road tyre. So when we're racing big tyre, we're on like 7.5, 8 PSI in each rear tyre. When we're racing radial, we're on about 7.
So that XA and all that, which are just fuck off fat, look like hosiers, look like drag tyres.
So that's raced on both. That's raced on a big tyre, and it's raced on a radial as well.
Okay.
So, but the problem is with 600 cubes, and this is what we're going into, 600 cubes, big turbos, man, it's all the torque in the world. That car's 600 pound. So to try and get that out of the hole, get it moving...
Hell.
Yeah.
Man, it's got a lot of torque, which means you go to a track that's not on point and it can't hold it. You go to Sydney, throw the kitchen sink at it.
Oh, really?
And that's the difference with track prep when it comes down to a radial car. Whereas a big tyre is more forgiving. They're a softer compound, softer tyre, wider normally, and they hook up on...
And those are the ones that you see photos of it, like rotating the sidewall.
You see the sidewall's twisting like it. It's just trying to... like old gases and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You see them
Right.
like
So
twist
radials
out.
don't do that.
They do it to a certain degree, but not like that.
Okay.
Not like what you're talking.
They wouldn't have the tolerance, would they, to go that much?
They still do.
Oh, would
so
they?
we can show you some pics of a radial like dead hooking and being on the edge of spinning, and they do spin and compress. But the difference is they only do it on the hit, and then that's it. You're out. You have a look at a big tyre car like dragsters, Top Fuel and everything.
Yeah.
They're a big tyre car, obviously. So you have a look at how far out they are still wrinkled for.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've never known that. What,
Have
so
a
like
look
halfway
at a,
down the
have,
track?
Have a look at a pass in slow mo,
Yeah.
and they're well out 100 foot plus before the tyre starts to expand and grow and get up on the tyre.
Because it happens so quickly, you don't see
don't
it.
see it.
Yeah.
And it is quite... It's the ferociousness.
Yeah.
As I was saying to Adam, I can't wait to experience. I haven't had the privilege to experience the ferocity of just fucking drag. I've got mates who've done it, whatever, but never actually got in the car. And a good mate, I said...
I reckon we'll throw Shawnee in. We'll take him
I
for a
can't fuck
passenger
it, mate.
pass.
You too,
100%.
mate. You got to fuck it. This is insane shit, mate. And the only one I know that said... a good mate of mine was an ex-RAF pilot. This is back in the day, in Gold Coast IndyCar days, debauchery days. But he had a rate... And the only thing that you can say similar was when they were doing training, the US, getting shot off a aircraft carrier.
Right.
The ferocity and the G's of instant bang gone. He goes, that's the only thing I can tell you what it felt like.
Wow.
In terms of that's similar. And whereas Adam was saying it's like when he was skydiving, that
Yeah,
face.
right.
Yeah. The only thing I've felt, everyone goes, what does it feel like in the car? And anyone who's raced a turbo car with a bit of nut will understand this saying. It feels like the dash wants to eat your face off.
Yeah.
Like, that's all it is.
Right.
For like an aspirated car, you'll get out and you might get that initial, yeah, we're going. But this is all the way down the track.
It just feels like it's building the whole time.
Well, it is building the whole time.
Far out.
brother, they gas off, fucking hit the thing and ran a 7.
Yeah, so with a good mate of mine, Chris, he hit me up in the Capri to take him for a passenger pass.
Right.
So we were at Heathcote one day and we threw him in. We turned the car down and we threw him in. We bumped in, come off like normal, ran it through to half. The shoots were out at half track, and we did something like 470 at 165 mile an hour or 164 mile an hour or something.
Roll, shoot out, brother.
Shoots out. I'm talking to him by the time we crossed the finish line, and we still
gangster.
went under 750.
That's gangster.
It was
Isn't
bottom
that-
sevens.
Isn't that crazy? That's what I mean, mate. Yeah, it's just...
So, and that's something that we can experience with you as well. We'll
Oh, mate, I can't-
we'll get you up there,
can't wait, honestly.
and then at least you can give your honest feedback on what it feels like as well.
I'm hanging. I'm just hanging because it's sort of like something from what I've known and what I heard. I had mates I had good friends or clients that were mates with Victor Bray
Yep.
back in and had experience that called her and that sort of stuff. And then his kids are involved, his daughter or someone
Yep.
was involved, that sort of stuff. And again, from then back then, just never experienced that particular part of motor racing.
Neither.
Never,
Yeah.
but just had a lot of clients either were ex-drags or done a bit of that, and now obviously met the boys and got to know a lot of the guys and just seeing, fuck, that would be just something experienced differently. Just the ferocity, man. Come on.
Wow.
6-7 seconds. I've pulled the dicks going, things runs 11, 12, which is fast for a road car, 10 for a road car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you think about it, but this thing eat it.
That's mad.
Yeah, it's cool. It's good stuff. So
as
guys from that?
as far as getting down the track in a 7-second street car.
Yeah.
So as I was saying, we'll get there, put a different tune up in it, turn the CO2 on, and from that point, it's not just a matter of going out, doing your burnout, and sitting on the line and going. It all comes down to launch RPM, which is you'll hear them on the two-step. The reason they're hitting two-step is to build boost.
Yeah.
And not only that, but it's a controlled RPM, controlled boost that we try and hit them at. And from that...
Is that all computer controlled?
It is, yep.
Okay.
And then from that point, you come off the trans brake button in all of my gear. What happens is when you come off the trans brake button, it starts a race timer. And so now we've got a timer in that ECU counting up. And so we're doing timing retards over that. So if we find that the track's a little bit average in the 60 foot, boost is much less responsive than timing is. So once we've built boost, we don't want to be pulling it out if we don't have to. So we'll pull timing out and then we'll roll the car through and then put the timing back in after that track, or after we've got enough wheel speed or pace in that car.
And that's obviously to get a better takeoff, is that right?
Yeah, because once you spin, it's just an avoided pass.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is trying to keep it right on the edge of what that track can take by looking at data, reading data, coming back, making some adjustments, pulling more timing out,
previous
or whatever
pass,
we need to
whatever
do.
the case may be.
And then on top of that, we're doing boost over race time, which is, so we're not pulling boost out, but we will gradually ramp that boost in as far as the track can handle. Because let's go my VK or a customer's LS base deal, right? We'll have anywhere between 30 and 36 pound of boost in those guys, and to be running north of 180 mile an hour. And no track's going to take that. And if it does take that on the hit, then you're just going to end up on your boot anyway. So that's where it comes down to, obviously, boost over race time, trying to get as much boost in as early as you can in the track. And once it's in, it holds boost. Whereas if we're dropping it out and then trying to make it again, it's very aggressive and not as responsive as doing timing retards.
Right.
So that's all happening while the driver's going down the track. And
it's all like...
And then if we're heads up, we've got another button on the steering wheel. We call it a piston delete button. It's called a scramble button. But it just 5, 6, 7 pound of boost, whatever we want to add. If someone's coming up beside them, they can hit that and then just go again. So,
well, but literally Fast and Furious.
But if anyone knows drag races, the scramble button's always fucking hit.
I was going to say hit anyways.
Whether they got someone next to them or not, they're always on it. So you may as well just have it in there.
So is it something that the car changes, I guess, as the evening or the day is, with more cars going down the track?
100%.
I was going to say, that would
track
evolve.
Conditions change, sun comes out, track goes off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You're pulling timing
all
out,
of those things.
Less launch RPM.
Yeah.
Less boost, whatever. So.
And most of those cars are running, what, a 2.5 or 3,000 stall, or depending on what the power of the boost.
It's completely different. A lot of people talk about it in stalls, and you can tell the old guys or the aspirated guys that go, I've got a 4800 converter in it. We don't talk about it like that anymore. No. It's what stator we've got, what size the converter is. So we run all of our big gears American converters, whether it's a PTC, Pro Torque, M&M. We run a bolt together converter deal, and what that allows us to do is change the stator out. So if we're on a no prep track, we can put a looser stator in it. If we're on a nice tight radial track, we can put a tighter stator in it, and that's just a higher stall rate, lower stall rate, and just where it locks up more to the point. Because you think about it, it's a 4800 stall in an aspirated car is worked out off of the torque that engine makes at that point.
Right.
Whereas if we're sitting there on two-step and we've gone, hey, I want 10 pound of boost at 3800 RPM, right? Let's say we're making 1,000 foot-pound of torque. We turn around and go, we want 18 pound of boost at 3,800 RPM. What happens to the torque level? It's now stretch out converter another 1,000 RPM before lockup point. So we were finding we were way too tight on stators, therefore way too hard to come up on the boost, and way too loose in the deep end. From changing a converter, I went 183 mile an hour at over 8,000 RPM, changed nothing but the converter, went to the American one, which is a Pro Torque in mine, an EV1. And
this is in your Capri?
No, this is in the VK.
On the VK.
And we went 190 mile an hour at 7,300 RPM.
190?
So 7 mile an hour more on 1,000 RPM less. And everybody goes, oh, what did you change? We only changed the converter to do that. So it shows converter technology
has come a long way.
And what it is. You go, the bigger cars, a lot of the American, let's call it your NPK, all that kind of gear, they run what we call a lockup, where they'll come through, and once they get to a certain point on the track, they just lock it in the ECU controlled. They'll actually lock it 1-to-1, so there's no slip at all. There's no stall rate. So, but as I say, there's quite a few cars over here doing it. Big Pro Mods and all that kind of stuff are running lockup M&M boxes in them now.
And is it under 7 seconds you got to have a shoot? Or is it under?
No, so shoots were 140 mile an hour. They've just changed to 150.
So it's mile an hour.
So that goes off mile an hour. Whatever you're crossing the finish line at is what where you get the shoots. Anything 2007 and under, you run a 1099 and you need to be teched, which means you need a cage, you need tail shaft loop, you need arm restraints, you need you need harnesses. Anything 2007 and above, you can go $9.99. So you can run into the tens with them. Oh, sorry, you can go $10.99. And all of that comes down to obviously airbags, safer car.
Yep.
So,
fuck. Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
yeah. So $9.99 in the later, $10.99 in the earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, we talk about diversity here. Mate, you guys are diversity over there as well. I mean, the range of cars when I go there, I mean, you've got fucking everything from Corvettes to Chevelles to fucking late model.
We used to be known for
HSVs and
just our LS-based stuff. And that's where, I guess that's where our roots were. When they first come into the country, my brother had a VTSS. We did a lot of work on that. And that was one of the first 300 rear-wheel kilowatt LSs in Victoria.
That's such a good engine, the LS engine. Like, there's so much you can do with them. They're just a great bulletproof.
We call them the Chinese Chev, but they're just a really efficient cylinder head, and they just work.
Yeah.
So
and you can chuck a lot of them, do a lot of them. They're quite robust.
Yeah. Well, out of the box, they're a roller camshaft.
Yeah.
They're a really good cylinder head, which, like, the cylinder head on them flows more than anything that they were doing for 5 litres back in the day.
Wow.
There's some pretty good options for them now, but you go, it was nothing like what these things are.
Yeah.
So they just make power to a certain degree.
Yeah.
We go, if you want to make 1,000 horsepower, cheap, an LS is the deal. Like, we can make 1,000 factory.
Yeah.
We've got cars running bottom 9s on dead stock engines. We've got VF Commodores running bottom 9s on simple bolt together things with a turbo on it. So they're a really good deal. But you get to, let's call it the 1,200 horsepower mark, and then you're in a new league.
But that's what your specialty, isn't it? Or not really? You're a bit of everything.
What do you mean?
I mean, MPW is known for big horsepower cars, or not really? You're a bit just known.
We do a lot of your normal stuff, single twin turbo gear, factory engine.
I don't even want to know. Is everyone everyone knows?
But the difference is you break the mould, and that's all that stands out in people's mind.
True.
I've got just as much interest in someone bringing me a VY Commodore that they want a really nice single turbo kit on and a power glide conversion or whatever, as I have in the $300,000 build sitting in the corner that has a guy on it 3 days a week to get it through at the budget that we need to be at. I like it all. I'm interested in it all.
Yeah.
But as I say, LSs, you get to a certain level, and they're super cheap, super easy to make power out of, like a Barra.
Yeah.
You turn around.
I was going to say the Barra. That's something that the other thing that I know that some people got these Barra. Fucking ridiculous power they're bringing out of this, and they're just bulletproof.
Have you seen Jace Way from Tough Mounts? He's got you've seen the white Fox body, Fox
that was here. I think that Fox body. Yeah, that's grouse. I actually like the Fox body.
Yeah, so that's a real cool car. That's a factory FG Barra with some oil pump gears in it and some head studs. And that's it. And that's making 600 rear-wheel kilowatt in that car. Has been for just on 4 years now.
That's nuts.
The car's nudging on an 8-second pass. Wow. And we've never had it apart. Never had a drama.
Wow.
So you go, like, really?
Wow.
Dude, that was a RB30. It's just not a thing.
Wow. So what's your opinion on the 2J then?
Yeah, look, 2Js are a good bit of gear. Again, it's all the aftermarket options that make them a great bit of gear.
Okay.
So, like as I say, the one we've got down there is a full billet block.
Can you please bust the myth for me? Because all my mates are hammering me that 2Js, 1,000 horsepower, don't touch it, just put a turbo on it. It'll last forever, run forever, you daily it. True or not true?
Depending on who drives it.
I was going to say, isn't it? Yeah, I've got
a couple of customers that could prove that myth wrong in about half an hour. There's no stress there. And they know it too. But, look, you get to a point, and that's what I'm saying with the LS-based thing and the 2J-based thing and the Barra-based thing. They all have their limitations.
Yeah.
You get to around that 1,000 horsepower with them, and it's not don't touch it. At 1,000 horsepower, it needs head studs. It needs some other bits and pieces to make it hold together.
Yeah.
But you get to that point, and they're a cheap platform.
Yeah.
You get above that point, it get bloody expensive. Like you now it's like, what's an LS? $6,000.
Yep. For an engine.
Yep, for an engine. Yeah,
yep.
So you just get a second-hand L98 or whatever, go put a camshaft in it, some ARP head studs and some LS9 gaskets.
Which you can do all of that. I can buy an engine and say, Adam, please, I just want you to give me a nice streeted sound grouse thing. Like we're going to do. We're going to get the Maloo, give it to you, you're going to put cams in and do fucking all that sort of stuff.
We go and throw one of our boost-friendly camshafts in it, and we go and put, let's call it a Pulsar G42 on the side of it. The turbo's good for 1,450 horsepower. We'll throw in a stock bottom end engine like that, let's call it 14 pounder boost at it. With that kind of turbo through a power glide, you'll make let's call it 800 horsepower. That's on its limit. But you go, it's going to hold together at that, tuned well, pump E85, and that car will go out for ages and do that just back to back at no dramas at all. Now you turn around, you make over 1,000 on that deal, and you're to the point where you're splitting bores. You're having issues with pistons.
It's that line where you've just crossed over now, and it's a lot.
Now there's always the guy, and we've got the guy, and we've tested him out, that has that engine and beats on it. I've got a customer over the other side of town. His name's Damon. He bought me this VN Commodore, and he supplied just a stock 6 litre for it. And he goes, "Put it in. Come on. I just need to make some power, and then I'm going to put an engine in it." And everyone said to me, "Watch out with Damo. Like he's pretty rough on his gear." Yeah. And we did that 4 or 5 years ago, and the car has been turned up since. We made just on 1,000 at the tyres out of it, and he beats the shit out of this thing.
He's real rough.
And we've never had a drama. And we have never had a drama with it. Yet I've seen factory LSAs come into me with split bores. So it's the luck of the draw.
Yeah.
It is really the luck of the draw with things.
Yeah.
But as I say, then it gets expensive because you go, the first 1,000 was pretty easy, right? It's like winning at the Cass. You go, that was pretty good. I just got $1,000. And then you go and spend 150 grand to get your second grand. Like, it's just it's just diminishing return. But then the guys start stepping it up. So then you go from, let's call it a $10,000 engine to $45,000.
Yep.
Then you step outside the LS base, and then you go to proper big block gear, and you're talking 100 grand starting price. By the time you go,
I was saying this, the dedication, the passion, the commitment to some of these people that own these cars and employ these guys to do what they want them to do, mate. They spend more than what some people pay for a fucking Ferrari.
Yeah,
and you know what I mean, like. That to me is as much dedication, if not even more passion, because they're constantly just feeding it and chasing it. And I think that's great. That's what I mean. How many times have we had that fucking XA in here, mate? All those things. People will go, "Oh, is that for sale?" And they come and look at a Lambo or an Aston or a Ferrari, and they're like, "That's what I mean." It's just wait till we get the fucking Capri downstairs. Yeah. But see, that's the thing. It's the appreciation of that's cool. That's what I love about it. And that's why I think there's such a broad market. And when your clients have come in, they appreciate some of this stuff too. You know what I mean? It's cool. And that's what I love about it. They're just so fucking passionate.
One thing I found with car guys is they're car guys. They're not circuit guys, or they're not Lambo guys, or they're car guys.
Yeah,
like legitimate car people legitimate car people.
Yeah, they are.
I'm not going to name him, but I bought a guy in here who you know, and we were laughing, and you were going, "Oh, there's this one guy who bought these 2 Porsches. I couldn't even get my hands on one." And he pulls his phone out, and we're building quite a few cars for this guy, and he pulls his phone out and he goes, "Oh, these 2." And he had video, didn't he? And he bought 2 brand new from different dealerships, 2 brand new Porsches, and he had them sitting behind a glass door that he had a builder working on at the time. And he's just like, "Oh, yeah, cool." And
it's just, that's again.
And I would have never known that he had stuff like that either. Like, I know that he's into cool stuff. He's got a couple of Koenigseggs eggs. And stuff like that. Like
serious dude.
Oh, no. Serious.
Yeah.
He's now got a twin turbo Chev truck that we just did for him. You
got to be a special kind of guy to be into Koenigseggs and Chev trucks.
But that's the thing.
That's the thing.
He just likes
that kind
cars.
of freight that would have a...
You would, yeah.
I would, mate. Because it's like, hang on, I'm driving that... Mate, I'll say it. I'm driving that fucking Great Wall Ute at the moment.
Yeah.
And I have my Raptor.
Next thing, Sean's going to be in an electric car.
No fucking way. That's never happening, mate. That's never happening, you know.
The Great Wall's just a stepping stone to the Cyber truck.
It's not going to happen, mate. Never going to happen. But in saying that, like I'm driving and we trade and like, it's actually, if I want power, I got fucking plenty of shit for power. But I'm just sitting there, and because I appreciate it...
The worst part is I'm going to fuck that power for you. The day I put you on the track, you're going to hop in these things and you're going to go, these used to be fast. This used to be...
And I know that, man. And then I'm just going to go, I wish I never experienced that. Because I'd be like, fuck, maybe I don't buy a hyper race. And then go, nah, we'll do both, Stevie, or we'll go both. But it doesn't mean, but it's like you said, car guys. It's just, I'm driving, I can find something good in each car. Yep. Whether it's a fucking $500 shitter or a 5 minute, doesn't matter. I can find, I get this, you know what I mean? It's not like we call a fucking badge snobbery, you know what I mean? It's
Most of them appreciate it, and look, a lot of the guys that I deal with, everybody goes, "How do you afford to do this?" They're not out pissing their money up against the wall. They're not out.
Thank you.
Doing weird stuff. They're spending their money on their cars, and they're normally pretty good family guys too.
Correct. Correct.
And look, I've got a really good network around me of people that I've met in this industry. Look, you get your twits and everything, right?
Yeah,
so
100%, brother.
And you just have to choose who you want to hang out with or who you want to be surrounded by.
100%.
And mate, I've made some really good friends and met some people that everybody looks up to or whatever, who are very influential, and they're just normal car guys.
Yeah.
They're just normal people just doing their jam.
Yeah, touche. So, yeah, it's same ethos here with our clients, like with your clients. It's a good community. Everyone loves the cars. We have some fun. Yeah, man. There's no egos at the door. It's just enjoy it.
Yeah.
The car fellowship, like we
Unless
call
you're
it,
next to them at the start line, there's no ego.
Oh, fuck. Then the mist comes on and off we go.
Then the best friends are fucking enemy.
Fucking gone, mate. It is. But you must see that, eh?
But as soon as the shoots come out, you're friends again. Like, it's all right.
So now the big thing is you guys are doing summer nats.
Yeah, so
you guys run the whole summer nats, all the fucking...
We run the dyno at Summer Nats. We don't run the whole of Summer Nats. We run the dyno at Summer Nats. So we run Horsepower Heroes.
Okay.
So we started doing that, I think it was about 6 years ago. It used to be a massive thing when dynos weren't such a big tuning tool. There wasn't one in every second shop.
Yeah.
There wasn't a dyno tuner from Wish in every shop. It was just specialised people.
Yeah.
And so that used to be a massive thing. Then as more dynos come along, social media come along, everyone was posting up, they're making 1,000 horsepower out of something or whatever. The dyno comp really died off. It was always a thing, but the nostalgia really died off. Everybody, I can just watch this on YouTube now.
Yeah.
So we've built it back in the last 6 years. We're pretty proud of how we've done this. We've worked in with Adrian Hodgson, Andy Lopez, Jay Benz, all the guys up in the Summer Nats crew. And we've built this back up to be a really cool event, to the point where it's standing room only when we're running the dyno now. The shed's packed out all the time. We're making 1,000 horsepower every hour type deal. We're making a couple of 1,000 horsepower out of street cars. Now, that's the thing. To enter it and to win it has to be a legit street car.
So that's how it is.
You can't roll a pro mod into our dyno comp, into Horsepower Heroes, and go, I'm just going to wipe the floor with every other prick here because I've got a pro mod. No.
So quickly, what's a pro mod?
So pro mod, unregistered,
it's
full tube car.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. Well, like those cars that have like plastic covers on them that are bodies. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah.
This is...
That would be a cheap one. Most of them are carbon fiber.
Yeah.
But these are road registered in a sense.
So everything has to be road registered. So you've got your types of deal. Like, since I've been doing the dyno comp, you've gone... We made 2,100 out of my blue VK there. So just rolled in 2,100, go park it up. Bubba, he made 2,400. He's still, to my knowledge, he's the highest horsepower street car ever at Summer Nats. So he went 2,400 a few years back. Again, twin turbo. Maria Passos went 2,200 out of a Barra in a legit street car.
Wow.
Like there's some pretty big hitters out there.
And is it on the spot, like they just rock up or they've been
so they can enter? We've opened pre-booking this year because it's got to the point where
that's what I was wondering.
We just book out really quick now.
That's what I thought.
So we've started pre-booking.
Yeah.
And it's to the point where we're inviting people there as well that have been in the past, that have cool things.
Yeah, cool.
And look, we want to put a spectacle on. So this year we're opening it with Micah Pre.
Nice.
And then what we do is every 15 minutes we rotate a car. So
so it's a constant
flow every 15 minutes there's a car ramping up. It does 3 runs. Now those 3 runs don't have to be a complete 3 runs either. If you come in your 1,000 horsepower 2J and you're worried about throwing the rods out of it, you do 1 pull, you make your 1,000 horsepower, and then we can just, as long as we start the ramp, we can stop. start the ramp, stop, there's your 3 runs. Doesn't have to be 3 complete runs.
So you've done one and then just, okay.
Yeah.
But it still has to...
It has to start the ramp 3 times and it has to drive off the dyno.
Okay.
So you don't have to go 3 hardcore
pieces.
No. If you blow to pieces, it's just not even a number at that time. Even if it's in the finals, it has to drive off.
Yeah. Okay.
So what we do is we run that. This year it'll be Thursday Arvo, all of Friday, all of Saturday, and then Sunday morning is the finals.
Okay.
Wow.
So a car every 15 minutes.
Fuck, that's going to be epic, man.
That's a lot.
That's a lot,
Oh, man. We've got a really good crew. As I keep saying, I'm lucky to be surrounded by the people I am.
Yeah.
And we're knackered by the end of it. The boys normally look forward to a beer at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
it'd be big because it's all eyes on you fucking blokes, mate. While you
It is. But
huge,
look, we
which
do
is
it
massive,
well.
awesome.
It's just another day for us now.
Yeah.
So
because you guys
Yeah.
are at the top of the tree. So this is what people forget.
Well,
Make it look easy. It's not easy. You fucking put the runs on the board so it looks easy because you've done it all and you've mastered that area. But it's a big spectacle for you guys and it's massive PR for MPW. It's massive.
Events like Summer Nats are very humbling because to us, we're just guys.
You forget it.
Coming to work, doing what we do. You get there and the amount of people that want to have a chat to you, the amount of people that want to get a photo or want to have a look at what you're doing or have a simple question to ask you that nobody's answered them and they're stuck on something. Just little things like that. It's very humbling because you can be that guy.
Yeah.
And then you've got the kids who want to have a look at the cars. Now, I'm that guy who, mate, if I've got a kid standing next to one of my cars, he's jumping in it. Yeah. And I've got kids myself.
Yeah.
And I go, they'll remember that forever.
Fucking, yeah, 100%, brother.
And that's what makes a kid get passionate about something.
Yeah.
True.
And
so true.
And if anybody thinks that doesn't matter, I was at a mate's house. He lives a couple of k's away from me down on the peninsula. I was at his place and his neighbour come over. They've got a holiday house there and his neighbour comes over. A real nice guy. And he's like, hey, you need to talk to my son. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, he's got all your cars up on his wall.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, tell him to bring posters over and we'll sign them for him.
Oh, fucking
And mate,
grouse.
something like that makes you go, like, these kids look up to something.
Yeah.
And,
man.
And it's a really cool thing to be able to share that and have them just see we're just normal people.
It is, man. Yeah,
That's so
well
cool.
done. Yeah, it is. It's good. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm hoping we might go. I said to Adam if I could tag along and just, I don't know, sweep up or something and just go with the crew. I'll be the least fucking technical bloke.
Shawnee's going to sit in the corner with his big beer hat on and a couple of cans in it.
straws.
Drinking some of that slushies in his wife beater.
Oh, my God.
Next week, Shawnee's, what's her name, embroidery girl is going to have some wife beaters going there to get YTG put on.
YTG.
Everything's branded. You heard it here first, guys. If you want a YTG wife beater, you know where to come.
Oh my God.
I'm selling him up some of that.
Oh
mate.
my God.
So that's it. So you guys have been doing that for a number of years now, and this year's going to be the first time you're going to be running them through like that, is it?
No, that's what we've been doing. So
you have been?
Years in the past,
Oh,
one
awesome.
dyno every 15 minutes.
Fuck, that's
So,
full
and
on,
we've
mate.
got that down packed pretty well.
Do you ever have cars do like that classic YouTube just explode on the dyno?
Yeah. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah,
that happens.
maybe.
We've always got fireys there.
Yeah.
Look, we get the same fireys each year normally, and they're pretty
yeah.
good knackers, and they're
Yeah.
on top of it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately, there is failures, and it's never a nice thing to be around. But
Well, it's an explosion, really, in a way.
it comes down to parts, right? As we said, like everyone's pushing these things.
Yeah.
So yeah, things break,
Wow.
and that's our industry. Things do break. And we're talking about having rowdy things on the dyno, and that Warbird you were saying was one of the
Honestly, brother, I've never heard any. I can't explain it. The fury. Like,
And did you take a video of it?
brother? You
Google-
can't hear, mate. I'll send you. I thought I sent it to you.
No,
I
I've
this is
seen
fuck-
this.
Google AC Pro Slammer
Mate,
on the dyno at Summer
bucket
Nats.
with water. A bucket with water is standing there, and the fucking energy and fury. I've
Okay.
never seen anything
So,
like it.
Text me the
I'll send it to
video
you.
and I'll snip it into the podcast.
It's
here.
fucking
So-
bullshit. Bullshit. You can't.
If you snip it, if you're going to put something in here, have a look at the footage of the AC Delco Pro Slammer on the dyno at Summer Nats. So the Pro Slammer is big blowing tube car, full blown race car. Yeah. So we had that thing. Morris Fabietti brought that along. We did a turbo versus blower thing with him and Dale Hallier.
Is that a Camaro?
No. It's a Pontiac GTO.
Yeah,
so
that's
Monaro,
what I thought so. Yeah, I've seen that.
So we had them two things go head to head, right? Now, the turbo car one made over 3,000 horsepower. This thing of Morris Fabietti's was, I think it just cracked the 3,000. But every light in the place, so think of all your high bays. Yeah. Mate, the lights all shaking, all wobbling.
From the energy.
From the energy of this thing. People down. I had earplugs inside my head, my, earmuffs.
Earmuffs, yeah.
And my earplugs fell out. Like, plugs fell out. Like it was one of the rowdiest things I've ever been in on a dyno, and it was just it's an experience.
For you to fucking say that, and you were sitting in that, and we're looking at him going. I remember saying to Stephen, "Go, fuck, he has brass balls, mate." I go, mate, he was sitting in that fucking car. I've never experienced anything like. I was like, wait, did you see that fucking video? I've never seen anything like it.
I can't wait to watch it.
It's fucking insane. Mate, his blokes were fucking going, Jesus Christ, they're over there. Who the fuck am I? His blokes are like fucking going over there.
My guys are normally standing at the start line going, fuck, what's he doing now? And they're normally covering their face and turning around. And
yeah, right.
And I was trying to be a hero because I'm like the only bloke at Formula One when they were real Formula Ones where, wow, and everyone's got the, and I'm like,
yeah, give it to me. Make them bleed.
I was like, my ears about to explode. I was shocked. I'll send it to you. It's insane. You've got to put it on there. You can't hear anything. You just that's all you hear on the speakers. Like it's so loud.
Man, so what's the highest PSI that you've done, highest boost level?
For us, 60's high. Like 60's like proper high.
That's
60 PSI.
So the thing that my favorite thing with turbos in general is the 80s Formula One cars. I don't know how much you know about 80s turbo era Formula One cars, but 60 PSI is what they were running in qualifying.
But that was a one lap and then it fucking blows up. That was a thing.
That was back in the Renault days, wasn't it? When Renault couldn't get more than half a race meet out of an engine.
Yeah.
And they were just melting them down.
Yeah, just amazing. Put them in a certain spec and just go out 1-2 laps.
And then how was it as soon as they got it sorted? The season they got that sorted and no one could keep near them.
Oh, yeah. Man,
so that was the 80s, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah. They were one lap time bombs and they just dialed them up to 1,500 horsepower or whatever crazy, and then just
mad that you can make an engine do that these days and then drive it down the street.
So you're talking about like the 190 Cuba making. Look, I don't know what boost levels that's on, but it's got to be up around the 100. Like they run big boost in some of these things to
100 boost. I've never fucking heard of it.
Have a look at all of the tractor pull engines and stuff like that, and they're up around the 100 pounder boost.
Those big things. Those tractor pulls. I couldn't believe they even had a sport like that. Have you seen them?
Now everyone's got this weird thing about
twin supercharged with pipes out the side and these tractors. Pulling these things in the dirt.
Everyone's got the how do you get your rocks off on that?
That sounds like
it's a different thing.
Good old boys, but I'm going.
And then you see they got 4 engines on them, and you turn around and all 4 go at once, and you go, I feel bad enough when I break one. Anyway, everybody's got this real weird fascination, and I hate it. But everyone's got this weird fascination with, but how much boost did that take to make? And you'll go, we had it on 50 pounder boost, right? And they go, oh yeah, but it takes 50 pound. My mate made this on 13. And you go, I don't care. I couldn't care if it was 300 pounder boost. The fact is it made that power, and the fact is it holds together. Right. Who gives a toss what we're doing to it to make it make that?
Yeah.
Like, so my VK to run 750s or make, let's call it just over 2,000, we've got 40 odd pounder boost in that. So to crack over 2,000 in that car is 40 plus pounder boost. We've only ever raced on like 34, but you go, that's what it takes. We just made, what was it the other day? 2,000 kilowatts. So 2,600 horsepower out of my Capri on 32 pounder boost.
Can you believe that, brother? Can you believe that?
So
isn't that just fucking insane?
Is it drivable at all in any way, shape, or form at that power level?
No fucking way.
Yeah.
I was going to say, didn't you drive the fucking thing?
Oh, but you don't have
Not
to.
at that.
Not at that boost level
No,
on the street.
yeah, I was going to say, that's what I meant to
way.
say. Yeah, no, you've only turned it
I'll take
up
you for a
to-
drive on the street with the VK making, let's call it 1,200 horsepower, right?
Yeah.
And then you'll see what 1,200 horsepower is. And then everyone who comes in going, I've got 1,200 horsepower, you're going...
Yeah, but see, we have guys that
Right.
have come here with their Lambos and that sort of stuff, and then they've twin turboed them, and then they're fucking 1,500 horsepower,
Yep.
but they haven't upgraded the brakes or the, just things
What
like
are brakes?
that. Correct.
What are brakes?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. But it's like, and you sit there and you're going, see, to me that looks like it's a bit of a time bomb, or slowly a lot of
But you
these
have a
guys
look
are-
at Lambos and that, and you go, man, like the braking systems on them things, that just everything about them is next level.
Yeah.
And it's better than anything we'll have. We can't fit that bigger brake behind
No.
our stuff.
Yeah.
Like you have a look at Johnny Ricker's Lambo over the other side of town, and it just went bottom 8.
Oh, that black
Really?
Gelato or something.
That's
yeah.
the twin turbo.
Yeah,
Twin turbo
yeah.
one. Yeah, so John's a mate of mine, and he's got pretty serious race cars as well.
Yeah.
When I say pretty serious, like he was the fastest radial car in the country for a while.
Okay.
And then, he's got these Lamborghinis as well. So he's got a green one now, which just went even quicker. That
But
went
that's a big
like
fuck
8.1
off,
or
isn't it?
8.2.
Isn't that just great? You rock up like just, he's got a Lambo, but because you just don't expect it.
But the difference is, right, like a mate of mine's got a genuine 1,000 horsepower R32 GTR.
Yep.
And you go, like, it's rowdy. It's four-wheel drive. It gets down, and it's on the street. It's next level. You go 1,000 horsepower in our stuff on the street, and unless you're starting racing from 80 k's an hour, you're going nowhere. Like,
Yeah, just wheel spin.
Yeah, and that's the difference. But you go a genuine 1,000 horsepower street car. It's just next level.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's fucking.
So
unreal.
2,500 horsepower on the
I
street.
was
You
gonna
can barely
say,
get it down
that's
the
what
track.
I mean. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like,
But-
fucking hell.
Far out.
I can't wait to experience stuff like that. It's crazy. Yeah, fuck.
Full
Unreal.
on.
So you guys are having a little bit of a break like most people, and then straight back into.
Yeah,
someone else.
I'm going to work through. We've got too much to do, so I don't want to lose momentum.
Yeah.
I'm off to Vietnam in May, so I normally
nice.
book a trip kind of mid-year if we can, or do whatever we can. So we booked Vietnam, not knowing that it was one of those things that a few of our mates wanted to go to Vietnam. So
I've never been, but it's meant to be fucking grouse.
Yeah.
It's meant to be awesome. It's like the new Thailand. I love
Yeah, well-
Thailand and Bali. That,
Well,
but
the
this
problem is
feeling
Thailand.
awesome.
Since I've been to Thailand, nowhere else compares.
Same, I
So
love
we
Thailand.
booked. We've got 2 weeks in Vietnam, and then 2 weeks or 10 nights in Koh Samui after that.
Koh Samui rocks. Koh Samui is the best, man. I fucking love
I haven't done Koh
mate.
Samui. I've done what's the name? I've
Pattaya.
done pretty much everywhere else in
Koh
Thailand.
Samui, brother.
We this year,
Fucking
so
yeah.
in when was it? March, April, something like that.
Yeah.
We went to Cape Panwa. So down the bottom of
Yeah,
Phuket in the quiet
yeah,
area,
yeah,
and that was
yeah.
magic. Like
Yeah.
that was just away from all the hustle
shuck.
and bustle and
Yeah.
no
Yeah,
one
nice.
no one trying to give you a cheeky
Yeah,
everywhere you
exactly.
walk.
That's the thing. Whereas Koh Samui is not like, it was more, like south. Just, beautiful, man. Yeah, well done. But Vietnam, I've heard amazing things.
Well, all of the boys found out that we were going, so now we've literally booked out the whole hotel in Koh Samui.
Grouse. Grouse.
Where
There'll be a good crew of everyone there.
There's
It'll be
like
awesome.
8 families flying in the same day and leaving the same day.
Awesome. Yeah, man, awesome.
A good mate of mine, Dave, him and his wife have never been overseas, and they're
Even cool. Yeah.
they're pretty open to anything, these guys, so they're gonna have a blast.
Yeah, awesome,
Things
man.
like that we're all looking forward to, and that's all extended car family too. Like,
Yeah.
everyone that I'm talking about in that aspect is someone that I've met through cars or through the business.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
it
were
is,
talking
it's
about that
amazing.
last episode, just
Yeah.
like the doors that open and the people that you meet through
It
cars.
is, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is a small world. People don't realise how much of a small world it is.
Everybody knows everybody,
Yeah.
and
Reputation's everything, mate. That's why.
not
fuck,
not
some
name
people-
dropping, but you turn around and you go, the Howard Astles of the world, the Owen Webbs of the world. I mention those two guys because they're old school. They're the guys that everybody knows who they are or what they do or what they've brought to the table.
Yeah.
And both absolute gentlemen. And they're the kind of people that you meet in this industry and you realise they're just people.
Yeah.
And whether it's you're that to somebody and you don't realise it.
No, and you get a bit humble when you have the cars and people say some really good things. We don't know. We try to build this little thing and we just try to do it. And it feel very. Even today, some people came in today and talk about the podcast, talk about this and that, and wanted to come in and see the space. And you forget that. I mean, we're just car blokes having a crack and doing our best as we can and trying to create our own little niche and do our thing. And you do. You feel very humble and very nice to hear that.
And to clear that up, right? Everybody goes, oh, they're arrogant or whatever. They don't remember where they started. Not at all.
No, man.
Our focus is just shifted. We always know where we started. We always know what we started with. We always know the people that were around then and are still around now.
Yeah.
And we never forget that.
No.
You come up and say hello to us and we're still the same person as we were back then.
100%.
But you come up wanting something for free off of us and you don't know who we are. We're going to be rude. You're just not going to get the answer that you want to get.
Yeah.
And the difference is, where we were then, our focus has shifted because we keep trying to evolve.
Yeah, of course. You want to get better at your craft or what you're trying to do. That's what I mean. Like, we want to get better. Not so much bigger, we want to get better.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
If you're anything like me, you set yourself a goal that you go, this is unachievable. This is borderline of being possible. And then you knock it out of the park. And then you go, oh. And you don't even get to be content for that 5 minutes.
No, because you're going
again. Because you've
again.
already set something else.
Going again, correct.
And everybody goes, oh, that's wonderful, the drive, the passion you've got. Man, I'm not a jealous guy, but I'm jealous of people who can go and stack shelves at Woolies and be content and be happy.
I don't get it.
I've never had that. I wish I did.
I don't have that. I wish I did because I think I'll live a lot longer.
Yep.
And I'd probably have some more hair there, but it was my first wife. But and then I would probably say, but that craziness in us is what makes the uniqueness in us.
But none of it's easy, is it? Like,
there's no fucking thing that's easy, brother. I was saying this on the fucking other day. There is no fucking elevator in what you've done, what I've done. It's fucking stairs.
Yep.
And the thing is, you forged your way, you've gone and done your thing, and people just think, oh, well, that's easy. No, it's not. You got to fucking work at it and work at it diligently and be true to what you're trying to do to achieve. Then you build your niche.
Yep.
And that's, people, there's no fucking elevator, mate. It shits me that.
And the missed family time, you'll get this.
Mate, mate. I've missed so much of my daughter,
I can't remember the last time I dropped my kids to school or picked them up.
See, I do that now because I missed out for fucking, my daughter's 12. I missed out.
But you deserve it, right?
Brother, we deserve it, but we don't. And now I realise I'm a dickhead because I missed out.
And you feel
fucking
guilty,
right? I feel guilty. So now I dropped Sienna at school. Mate, I see you now with your kids. It's fucking awesome. You never had that shit before.
Yeah.
Mate, this is wrong. This is shit that I'm not going to... So, yes, people go, you do not turn up here before 9 o'clock. There is fucking no one here.
Yeah.
No one here.
Yeah.
Because we're all dropping our kids and we're coming here, mate, because that's life.
But the worst part is, and right now I need to break this cycle as well, where I am busting ass so hard to keep everyone happy and doing all of the hours to keep everyone happy. I'm forgetting about keeping them happy.
Yeah.
And
it's
thing, only, I've got a really good wife, and it's when she turns around and goes, hey, look, we miss you. And you go, yeah.
And you're blessed because your missus is there.
Yeah, Cal comes in and helps with the tin work, helps with
the same with that.
prepping stuff
here,
off the
helping,
CNC.
that does help.
She's really good.
She's a bit of a machine, mate, because I saw her. I didn't know that she was a staff. I went, oh, fucking crap.
Yeah, Cal's into it as well. And that's something...
It's important, brother. But it is.
My struggle is I can't turn the drive off. Maybe it's because the kids are still so young that they're sort of hard to engage and play with because they're still... dumb. They're just blobs of human. So like I'm sitting at home and I'm trying to engage with them, but I can't turn my brain off of I need to do that, I want to do that, I want to get this done.
Yeah.
Like,
look, the problem is, and a lot of people, there's going to be a lot of guys listening to this going, fuck, I thought it was only me that felt like that. Because nobody says it enough, but you go, I'm highly motivated, highly driven, to the point where there's nothing I can't do. If I can't do it today, I'm doing it tomorrow, right? And the problem is, that happens at night when I'm meant to be sleeping. That happens when something's beaten me and I'm sitting at home researching it, and you give a customer a bill for the 4 hours that you've spent in company. What about the countless nights? What about everything else where their cars kept you awake because you want better for it? You don't just go, nah, fuck off.
This is where people don't see it. And the blokes that fucking This is the thing, and what you just said then, and this is where a lot of people don't understand.
Sure. How much of your own time does it take? Let's not talk about the difference between what you bring a car in for, not mentioning all the money you got to spend on it to get it right to sell to a customer, but how much of your own time goes into making that deal happen?
Brother,
then all of the energy in getting that car turned around to the quality that you expect for your customer.
What our brand represent.
Then the last part of it, doing the deal with the customer and all the time you have to invest in that. And then you go put an hourly rate on that.
You can't.
Oh, yeah.
You just can't.
And everybody's like, but I know you paid 60 grand for it. I want it for 61.
No,
it's not how it works.
It doesn't. That's what I said. So you go and spend millions of dollars and put the infrastructure and 20 years of experience and runs on the board and ups and downs. I think I'm entitled to a little margin.
Not only that, I've been to a lot of places, man. I've been in the industry a long time, know a lot of people.
Yeah.
And you walk in here, and this is high class. Like what you've done, and none of it's cheap.
It's nothing.
And people don't realise that
they don't.
To get cars in here like this, you have to have this setup.
That's what I say to clients. I said, so you think you can't steal cars of this. I pay big money for the right cars.
Yep.
It just goes. Do you want the cheap Chinese shit or do you want the grouse shit? Well,
this is coming from the guy driving a Great Wall.
Hang on.
Like, come on. But you might have to clip that bit out. He's already...
We don't clip anything out. Oh, no, we clipped a couple of things out because I had to, because I was a government. I was having a crack at
it.
No. We cut a bit out.
You can't do that one.
But no, again, it's the... what you hold to standards of what you want and the people around you and where you see it.
It's that drive thing, right? And I got really sick to the point where I didn't know what was going on. And I went and seen doctors and they just tried throwing pills at me. They said, you're depressed. I'll tell you now, I'm not a depressed guy. They were trying to throw pills at me, and this all come from working. This was 6 days a week, 18-hour days, like just burning it at both ends, right? I've had pneumonia twice now from getting that ran down from work.
Yeah.
People don't see that.
No.
Nor do they care. But you go... So what ended up happening was to the point where my body stopped producing testosterone. Because... And they go, that's a nervous breakdown. Yeah. What you're having right now is a nervous breakdown. Yeah. But the fact that you're stronger than that is... And I just had to find the right doctor. So they kept trying to throw pills at me and give me antidepressants and everything. And I said, I refuse to do that. I'm not that guy. I started training and exercising and stuff like that, and that always helps. Healthy lifestyle is paramount.
Yes.
Not right now. The only shape I'm getting in is round, but it comes down to working.
Yeah.
But anyway, this doctor gave me some melatonin tablets.
Oh, melatonin, yeah.
And she goes, oh, look, like, how's your sex drive compared to what you were? And I'm like, these are all weird questions. Went back a week later, different person. And that's all it was. She goes, you have to sleep for your body to produce these chemicals. Yeah. You have to sleep. Yeah. It only happens when you're sleeping. But people like us who are highly motivated...
Down. I'm sending messages at fucking 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. They go, I go, man, I hang upside down. What do you want me to do?
Man, I used to survive off 3 to 4 hours sleep a night.
Same.
No dramas at all.
Because I'm just so
fully
driven
functioning.
I've got to go. I've got no backup.
And there'll be so many people listening to this going, fuck, I thought that was only me that happens to.
No, man.
But no, that's all of us that are making something.
Self-driven, trying to push themselves. Yeah. And it's not a question of money. The money to me has always been, the money will come as a byproduct. I'm not worried about that. I couldn't give a fuck about
it's the challenge.
The money.
It's all of my personal goals have never revolved around money.
Same.
They've never revolved around what I'm going to have at the end or whatever.
Fuck.
It's always achieving a goal, whether it's a goal on a customer's car, whether it's a goal at a race meeting, whether it's a goal for that year and where we want to be and moving forward.
100%. 100%. The money, to me, like I said, it's the byproduct. Of course, the money will come with the success. Of course it does. It's not going to change us as a people, but it's the constant drive of, tick, tick,
now,
tick, tick.
I think why money comes with success as well is we learn the difference of how much we give for free. Because one thing somebody always said to me was the only ones who will remember you working late is your kids.
Yeah.
No customer will ever remember that you stayed back until 3 o'clock in the morning for them for a month.
Yeah.
No customer will ever remember that you gave them all this time. Yeah. Because when they're done with you, you're just going to be yesterday's news.
Yeah.
And you go, and that's fair. That's human nature. That they paid for a product. We decided to do that work for nothing because we were invested.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
That's okay. Not everyone's the same way driven. I understand that. But what you said, the kids is the...
Yeah, when you start thinking of it like that, you go, hey, I've got to be there. I've got to back it off a little bit for them.
Yeah.
And that's where having a really good crew around me has come into play, because you go, having someone that you can trust, not having to double check everyone's work. And
that's paramount.
We've gone to a smaller crew. Our quality's better than ever. And all the boys in the shop are happy.
Yeah,
awesome. That's the main thing.
That's the main. Yeah, it is. It's so true.
Well,
Same thing, mate.
on that lovely note, we're over an hour.
Fucking cruise done well, isn't it?
Amazingly.
Fucking awesome.
I'd like to note to finish on. I love the way you're holding the mic. No one has ever held the microphone like that, and it's the coolest thing ever.
Actually, yeah. Fuck, I just Fuck yeah.
It's cool,
brother. We've enjoyed having you on, mate. Get you on more in the future, mate. Definitely.
Yeah,
people want to know.
Happy to come back. Enjoyed being here.
Yeah, man. Definitely.
Do a big race meeting. Do some amazing result, blow a car up, and then come tell us about it.
Oh, yeah, listen to this guy.
Well, we'll get you on after. We'll get you on after Summer Nash, because that'll be fucking epic.
Yeah, done. We can talk you through that.
That'll be huge.
But as I say, jump on and have a look. You've spoken about the Capri. We haven't touched base on that.
I've spoken about the Capri only because we talk about the area and talk about you guys down the road and that sort of stuff. So
grab some footage of that, and you'll see. As I say, that's a 6-second legit street car.
Yeah.
Have a look at some of the footage from Sydney raceways. That went 690 on its second ever pass.
Yeah, it's fucking out of control.
Something for people to have a look at.
If I was going to go and if I wanted to see that car on YouTube, what would I type in?
Just type in strip show Capri.
Okay.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, it's blue. It's fucking insane, and you'll see it here in a couple of weeks' time, parked downstairs.
And then we strap Sean into it.
And then after that, we will take Sean for a pass at one of our test days.
I'm going to fucking turn white.
I'll bring the Mantan.
I reckon on that one, I'll come back to the podcast after that one.
Yeah, because my mind will be blown.
And we'll have some in-car footage of Sean turning white.
Right, it's going to be
and my seat turning brown.
It's going to be grouse, mate.
Excellent.
No,
all right,
thank you, mate.
Merry Christmas for tomorrow
for
morning.
guys.
No, thanks for coming on, brother. Awesome.
Beautiful. Enjoy your presents in the morning, and we'll see you next week for a New Year's episode.
Correct. Have a good one.
Catch you later.
Bye.